One unfortunate geopolitical escalation, one narrow sea passage. The Strait of Hormuz has shaken global trade markets and, most importantly, the innocent seafarers navigating those waters. Today, we will see how rising tensions in the region have introduced instability into one of the world's most critical energy corridors, how this affects the global economy, and what seafarers stranded in the Persian Gulf are actually facing. This video is not a take on politics. We'll be covering three important aspects: the economic impact of the globe when the Strait of Hormuz becomes constrained, how such events change charter rates and ship prices, what seafarers operating in the Persian Gulf are facing. On average, nearly 20 million barrels of oil per day transits through this strait, roughly one-fifth of the global oil consumption. When movement in this corridor becomes constrained, even temporarily, energy markets react immediately. The constrained movement of ships from this region could potentially create supply concerns for major importing nations such as China, India, Japan, South Korea, and others in Asia as well. In fact, some energy economists suggest that every $1 increase in the crude oil prices could add roughly $1.5 to $2 billion to India's annual import bill, depending on the total volumes and the exchange rates. But why does this actually happen? The answer to this is hidden in the economics of ships. Let's cover insurance underwriting first. With three major components, a ship's insurance has P&I, protection and indemnity. The second component, hull and machinery. And the third, additional protection. This is the component which covers war risks. As insurance premiums rise, operating cost per voyage increases, ship owners demand higher freight, charterers pay more, refiners pay more, and in the end, consumers pay more. In the case of Strait of Hormuz, a few major insurance houses have removed the additional protection cover, which makes any ship movement in the Strait of Hormuz highly risky and economically unviable. Another point to understand is that there are only a finite VLCC tankers in the world. The number of compliant tankers has come down further because of US sanctions. This choke point has increased the charter rate of oil tankers in the world. Some analysts even predict that the situation might push charter rates to an all-time high. When freight rates rise and earnings improve, asset values also follow. Recent tanker market cycles have already seen significant appreciation in the second-hand vessel values. Let's take a 10-year-old VLCC that traded around $70 to $75 million in 2023. It has been reported that in certain transactions, this value could go up to $100 million, depending on the condition and the service status of the vessel. Over a 5-year period, certain tanker segments have appreciated substantially due to supply constraints and geopolitical trade shifts. Now the most important question: what's going on with seafarers? As of now, there have been 9 incidents involving vessels in the Persian Gulf where nearly 20,000 seafarers are stranded. The vessels which have suffered are attacked by drones or unknown projectiles. Tanker MKD Vyom was struck by a projectile off the coast of Muscat, in which one of the sailors unfortunately lost their life, and MV Skylight suffered the loss of 2 crew members. Vessels drifting or anchored in the region are facing continuous GPS spoofing, which increases the risk of collision. Crew changes have halted. All vessels in the area are suggested to maintain a strict watch for safety, and safety measures have been instructed by the UK MTO. Inconsistent internet connections for communications are also reported in some cases. The Secretary General of IMO, Mr. Arsenio Dominguez, has issued a public statement. No attack on innocent seafarers or civilian shipping is ever justified. Freedom of navigation is a fundamental principle of international maritime law. Mr. Dominguez said that vessels should avoid transiting the affected region until conditions improve. It's a time of uncertainty. Our wishes and prayers go out to the seafarers, their families, and the people affected by the situation.